think I mean the entrance is this way. Oh God, I'm hella dumb. I've already been helped.
Hi. Are you here to see the museum?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on just a second. We got another guy coming up. He's going to give you all a tour. So.
Sweet.
Okay, so here we go. Okay.
I have a question. I'm a firefighter in France. Is it free or no? I have my card to show you.
It's actually, it still costs $10.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. The only ones we let in free are firefighters from here that have uniforms on. So.
Session 9, admitted 9, Megatro, 315.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Here they are also here, and they were called the Turners of Texas. So they belong to a German athletic social club, which across the street, that building is over there. You see the like Jewish symbols and all that. There were a lot of Jews were German, so that's where they had their athletic club. This station wasn't built. That place was built before here. But anyway, so then along comes. This was the first truck company right here, and they were very athletically inclined. Mr. William Minger, the Minger Hotel is about a block and a half from here. It's a beautiful old hotel. So Mr. Minger, he was the owner of it. So he started out as a barrel maker, and then he had to have something to put in the barrel, so he put alcohol or liquor or whatever you want to call it. And then he had to have a place to put the people. They drank the liquor, you know. And so he built the Minger Hotel. He became rich and famous. He bought the first steamer, and he donated it to the San Antonio Fire. This is pulled by firefighters here. It's not pulled by horses and no engine on it. So it was the first. He donated it to the San Antonio Fire Department. He also was one of the chiefs at that time. Period of 1869. So that's Mr. William Minger. He has a lot of influence back then, but they were volunteers at that time. And here they are right here. So in 1891, he becomes the first paid fire chief in San Antonio. There's a trumpet or the bugle or whatever you want to call that. Basically, of course, they didn't have radios back in time, so he barked out the orders at that time at the bigger fires. And so he didn't have to run around and tell people what to do. So that's what. So then they become, the trumpet or the bugle becomes insignia for officer rank, from lieutenant captain, district chief up until around about the 90s. Maybe to early 2000s, and then they became battalion chiefs and assistant chief. A fire chief has 5 bugles on his lapels and on his helmet, and you'll see that a little bit later. Here's San Antonio here. Now this actually is kind of turned around, but you would say this is north. And what I'm trying to show you is here's fire stations that were there back in the 1800s. So you got 1s, 3s, 4s, and 8s, 2s, and 5s. The reason for are specific, and I'll tell you about them in a little while once we get onto the other side. How much time do y'all have? About 30 minutes or so? You got plenty of time?
Yeah, I have about 30.
Well, I'm very long-winded, and if you get tired of listening, you just walk inside. You're not gonna, but I'll keep you move me on. Okay, and I'll move on. It doesn't take too long. It's about a 30-minute
So
Good two of those for years and years and years. So we used to have to, after dinner time, we used to have to go up there because they left at 5 o'clock. We'd have to go sweep and mop for them and also run the station. And like I said, I was a firefighter for 19 and a half years. So basically, I cooked here my first 9 years on a stove like this one. This is not the one that was here, but one just like it. And then later on, we had 2 of these here because we had so many, and it became a real big part of the firemen wanted to eat. So back at that time, we would buy before you came to work, you would buy dinner.
Yeah.
At that time, it was they had round steak. Round steak is just like a steak about so big, it has a little bone in there, you know. But so I would buy 14 pounds of round steak because there were 14 firemen here. 14 pounds, and I would make chicken fried steak. Everybody loves chicken fried steak, right? And I would make 10 pounds of potatoes, mashed potatoes, and I would do 10 cans of corn. And so they wanted to eat because we had a chief here. The assistant chief was here in his age, and then we had 2 captains and 1 lieutenant. So they wanted to eat between 5 and 5:30. So you needed to make sure that dinner, because we always have been a semi-military organization as far as where I'm concerned. I'm pretty much sure it's like that in France also and around the world. But long story short, they were hungry by 5:30 and they wanted to eat. Basically, I would make it, and in 15 minutes it was all gone, and they were hungry again. At that time, dinner, we were divided amongst us, and it was usually around about $1, $1.25, because you could buy round steak for 89 cents a pound, and it was 10 cents to have them tenderize it. So I would have them tenderize it. That way, when they bought into the chicken, they could easily eat it and not have to pull on it. But anyway, that went on off and on. I didn't cook every shift, but I would cook like every 3rd shift or something like that. So for the most part, that was the meal that I cooked. This table was here, but it was over here. And these chairs, all these the furnishings were made by a firefighter by the name of Snuffy. And I'll show you a picture of him later on. So I ate at this table over there. It was kind of up against this. This has been changed around a little bit, but the table was right here. This door it wasn't open to this area. It was closed. We had another door over there, but long story short, the table was right here. And the big coffee urn was over here, and that was pretty much my job to make sure there was coffee in there. Always.
In Paris, it's different than the other parts in France, but I'm in a small city near Paris.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of fantastic artwork. We have steamers back in the day. We had 5 steamers back in the 1800s. This is one of them right here, pulled by horses, and then later on they actually had it pulled by like a vehicle pulled it. But as you can see, it had 3 horses, and the reason it had 3 horses is because it weighs 6,000 to 8,000 pounds when it has water in there. Approximately 50 gallons of water in there. So each gallon of water weighs 8.6 pounds, right? So you're talking about a lot of weight right there, plus all the metal. I mean, it's a beautiful. So this ran out of number 5 fire station. But there were some that were pulled by 2 horses, some that were pulled by firefighters. Like this one right here. This is truck right here. This is 1917. Anyway, it's pulled by firefighters. And the reason it was pulled by firefighters and not an engine and not a horses is because it's a small town, about 3 or 4 blocks long. Very, very small, so you didn't need an engine. I'll get back to that y'all want to come this way. They were not this fire station never had a steamer, but we do still have approximately 6 fire stations that are over 100 years old, and they house these steamers, and they're still in service right now, being used right now as fire stations. And I'll show you a picture of some of them. So what they would do is they would back up the fire, steamer back into the station, and they would back it up to the fireplace. Approximately, I don't know, I guess around so close right here. So they would have piping that came out of here and here. This was on 365 days a year. And so that way it would keep the water at a temperature. And so that way when the run came in, all the engineer had to do was grab the coals with a shovel them in the back of there. That way they had steam already built up to go to the fire. Because you didn't want to go to a fire and have to build a fire. So by that time, what's the point, right? So that's kind of the way it happened. So the steam helped give the pressure, and also you had your hard suctions. These are what they call hard suctions. So they would put two of them together and have a strainer at the end of them, and they would look for a pond, a lake, a stream, or whatever. Look at so San Antonio is full of all of that. So they look for the closest one, lay the lines to it, and deliver water to the firefighters with pressure. Here we got a picture of it right there, the 50-foot ladders. We had to climb those in training. These are some of the firefighters at that time. I probably worked with one or two of them. I don't know which ones they are, but I'm going to look into that one of these days. I've been doing this for approximately. Here we got all the paid fire chiefs. City manager, he came from Phoenix, and the city manager that was with San Antonio was from Phoenix at the time. Both of them came together here, and about 5 years in San Antonio. And we got that in 1975. I actually helped pick it for collective bargaining, which was a plus. Well, anyway, long story short, a year ago, the city manager, which was not with the city manager of the city, had given us a contract, and for a long time. Anyway, we got a hold of the citizens and told the citizens that the city manager was making $400,000 a year and she wanted a raise. And so they kicked her out. Well, that's when he should have went, but he didn't. He stuck around, and he did fantastic for the San Antonio Fire Department. For firefighting, EMS, hazmat, and also technical rescue. I mean, he was on the floor. A lot, also my father, it was just my father and my uncle. And pretty much 90% of these firefighters I worked with, because I came in logbooks, we had logbooks when I came in the 70s. You had a logbook at every station, and you needed to put the firefighters down there as they came into work, and then you would get a call from seatbelt on when you get to the fire, and it's probably been to a cleaners, or we have cleaners, we have men that come and pick up because of nowadays. I'll move us on. They're paid, they're all firefighters from San Antonio, but they're paid by the FAA. We get the same amount of money as the firefighters here, but they stay there. It's all radiation. As you can tell, I don't know if y'all have been flying. I'm sure you flew over here. Y'all want to come this way? Oh, okay. And then I'll move us on this way. We have the southern building over here. City here, and we're not firefighters. So they would work on the fire trucks here and the ambulances here up until 1977, and then they built another training facility and the shops along with it to where they sent them there. So this became a supply for EMS supply. There, right now. See, also Annie there. She's not breathing. So what are we gonna do?
Resuscitate.
Come on in. Come on in. What are we gonna do for resuscitate Annie? She's not breathing there. We're gonna do CPR, right? We're gonna check for breathing. We're gonna check for pulse and all that. If not, we're gonna do CPR, right? Yeah, we got pulses all over the body, and we got pulses here. We got pulses here. We got pulses there, and also the carotids there. And so then we want to do CPR. Pretty much don't necessarily want to breathe. Approximately 1,700 gallons of water per minute out of each one of these vials. That's a lot. That's why remember I talked about offensive, defensive strategies. Right now they're in defensive mode. So there's no firefighters in there. Because you can hit with one of these master streams, it's going to knock you out. More about it tonight. Hi, good morning. is our basement, and I didn't show that, but it runs all the way through both of the buildings. It's not the entire, but it is, there's rooms that go all the way. Things in that and rewind and stuff, so, you know, it's in the works. This is a 1955 Seagrave here, still runs 50 miles an hour. Pretty much that's all you want to do on it. It actually drives better than the 51 that we have over there. I drove school buses for years back in the 70s, and those school buses were all standard, and a lot of them were double clutch. And so that's why I learned how to do double clutching. But I'm doing something not nowadays, but it's set up for that. I call it the new shop, but it's been around for about in the building, but they're just separate. And these are. We're coming to your question here shortly. Any more questions? I'm going to get off the pass, except for the red one, we still use it. But all of these here are all cancer. They all have tetracycloflora. It's pretty much we didn't use them. This is not good. But nowadays it's mandatory that you wear baby apparatus. Same. You see, and nowadays they run about 45 minutes.
Keep going, Amy. You just ain't gonna stop.
You're gonna stop. Listen, it still runs. It usually has